Right, you're watching this video because you're considering remortgaging your house to consolidate your debt, and I've got lots of things to say on this. The subject of debt consolidation is what I call a hot topic, and you should not consider doing it without receiving proper advice, because there's many different financial products out there, some of which are quite straightforward to understand and some of which are quite complex. So a scenario that we would typically be asked to look at Giraffe here is a client who's maybe owned a property for a few years. That property has grown in value, there's some equity in the property, and they have some other commitments. They may have, a few £1,000s on a credit card, they might have a personal loan, etc, etc. And instead of having a mortgage payment, loan payment and a couple of credit card payments, they want to amalgamate it all in to one monthly payment, and they think that that would make them better off. And sometimes it might. Per month they might be better off, but that's not all of the story. So when you engage with us here at Giraffe, it's my advisor team's responsibility to collect all of the facts. So we want to know what commitments have you got, what interest rate, monthly or annually, applies to each commitment that you have, what's your mortgage interest rate, how much do you earn, what term is left on your mortgage and your loan and your credit commitments. And then what we have is a formula here and a calculation which enables us to assess the long-term impact of repaying those unsecured debts and making them secured. So a classic example would be a client with a £5,000 credit card commitment. That credit card commitment might be 0%, so they might not be paying any interest on it, but they're paying, £150 a month to pay that credit card commitment down. And they've looked online, as often people do, and they've worked out that if they add that credit card payment or that credit card amount to their mortgage and amalgamate it in, that their mortgage payments might only go by £50 a month. So month to month, they're £100 a month better off. However, and you can probably see where I'm going to at this point, if you take a credit commitment which is 0% interest and amalgamate it into a mortgage which might be 2 or 3% a year, then yes, there's a short-term benefit of the monthly payment overall being reduced, but you've then got interest added to that credit card balance for the next 25 years or however long your mortgage is for. So in that scenario, it's almost always going to be the right advice to leave your 0% credit commitment on a 0% credit card and leave your mortgage separate. You should think really carefully before you make unsecured credit commitments secured, because if you default on a secured credit commitment like a mortgage, then ultimately the mortgage company reserves the right to take the property off you and repossess the property. Okay. Whereas if you cannot meet your unsecured obligations, then it's possible, not guaranteed, but it's possible that you could strike a deal with your unsecured credit providers and work out a plan in which you can reduce your outgoings, and you would do that through a qualified debt management company. Now, we're not a qualified debt management company, Giraffe. We tend to deal with remortgages, purchases, etc, etc. If you're feeling in financial difficulty, there's an excellent organisation called Christians Against Poverty that I would wholeheartedly recommend that you Google and find online. And some of my clients who've come to me over the years, I've referred on to Christians Against Poverty because they're a charity set up not for profit but to help and to serve you, to help you. So if you've got severe debt issues, it might be worthwhile speaking to the guys at CAP, Christians Against Poverty, or having a chat with us first and we can do that analysis for you. A lot of credit cards, when they're outside of their 0% period, have absolutely astronomical interest rates attached to them. So it could be 17, 18%. I've seen one in excess of 30% before. And in that scenario, it's possible that amalgamating that credit card balance into your mortgage might save you money over the long term as well. But you'd also have to consider kind of switch that credit card onto a 0% finance option as well. So it's not as straightforward, and a good advisor will always quiz you very carefully about why you want to debt consolidate, what's the reasons for your debt consolidating. If your debt's going up month on month on month and you're living in the red every month, that would indicate to us that you maybe need to work with a debt management company to get that under control a bit more. You could also look at the Money Advice Service website, which is the government service impartial website, which gives you lots of tools like budget planning tools. I love a spreadsheet in the office, as my staff will testify to, and I know exactly what I've got coming in and exactly what I've got going out every month. But I'm a bit of a freak like that, being a financial advisor. If you've not done that before, that's a great first exercise to do before you come and see us, so that when you sit down with me or one of my advisor team, that you know exactly what you've got coming in and what you've got going out, as well as the interest rates that apply to your various different commitments, because that's a solid basis for a conversation about debt consolidation. So I hope you found that useful. Obviously there's lots to it. Please do contact us and get in touch to arrange an appointment with one of the team here. We can do that via Skype or FaceTime if you can't make it in person, and we'd love to help you out.